Hello, this is David Koslowski. This is an instructional video for Excel number 1, time value, more specifically to illustrate the error of omission. Let me share a screen. So you should see an Excel spreadsheet here, the template for this assignment. Up on top, it illustrates someone who is contributing $200 a month or $2,400 a year into an investment account into the S&P 500, which has an average return of around 10%, represented by 0.1 here. And the idea is that this person will invest for 40 years during their working life. Each year, that each yearly contribution, $2,400, is represented by this diagonal. The horizontal here is the compounding value at a return rate of 10%. What we see is the very first investment in year one, at the end of year one, compounds to almost $100,000 at the end of 40 years, illustrating the effects of compounding. And in year 40, since it's the end of the year, there's no change because there's no time for any compounding. But if we add up this column, what we find is that cumulatively, the investment account we expect to have $1 million in investment account. Now, in reality, market returns are variable, so we might have plus or minus around this number, but this is our expectation over the long run. Now, this is what people are supposed to do. But as discussed in class a number of times, only 1 out of 3 people actually do this. 2 out of 3 people don't invest for retirement, and they end up at retirement age with little or no assets. This is a fact, and this has been an unchanging situation as long as we've been tracking data for this. But suppose, just to illustrate the error of omission, suppose someone after 20 years decides to start investing, from year 21 onwards. What happens? Can they still accumulate enough wealth to retire with the same kind of annual investing? Well, I'll illustrate here so to solve this in Excel, we start here at year 21. Highlight it, then right-click, copy, and then we simply go down to year 21 here, right-click, and well, if we can either choose the first one, it goes white, or the second one matches the formatting of the second location, which we'll do. So this is the idea here is now to sum these up here. Oh, sorry, below. So we'll say auto sum. We have to adjust that and enter return. And then I hook onto the little corner tab and just drag it here. And what we see here, the screen might be quite small for you, but it instead of 1 million, we have 137,000. And you may, if you choose a different number of years, you'll get a different number. But the idea is to have a scenario where you cut and paste or copy and paste fewer years, just to illustrate the error of omission. So here we have no compounding. What we find is that by investing half the years, 20 years instead of 40, we don't have $500,000. We only have, maybe 1/8. So we only have 1/8 that. So it's not linear. The point here is that this is exponential. You can see that here, that you start with $2,400 and it exponentially increases, and it's the ending years. My cursor is showing this kind of exponential trend here. So without this exponential trend at the final years, you don't have time. So these zeros here represent the error of omission. So the actual Excel assignment here is quite simple, but this is not, the Excel is just a tool. The important part of this assignment is that you've created a scenario, and you could actually create different scenarios, different amounts to illustrate various investing periods. And if you're an investment advisor, this is the kind of tool you might use to show clients the consequences of not starting early. And that's it. I hope you give some thought to not just the Excel here, but the importance here of starting early. Because if you start late, even so we'd have to actually, since this is roughly 1/8, not a half, like it's half the time, but it's only 1/8 the amount, we'd have to contribute not 2,400, we have to contribute more in the order of 20,000 a year, 8 times this, which might be problematic for most households. That's a very large amount. So, so the message here is to start early. So I thank you for your time. We'll stop share and end the recording. Thank you.